I'm Sam, I'm from Caribbean Sports. I'm here joined by Ollie. How are you, Ollie?
Yeah, I'm good, and you?
Ollie will be racing in F3 next season and he's partnered with Caribbean Sports for another season. I'm just going to do a quick Q&A so you get to know Ollie a bit more and his life behind the wheels. My first question, Ollie, will be, what does a typical race day or racing weekend look like for you?
It's actually quite spread out more than someone would think. I think we've obviously got practice on Friday and as well as qualifying on Saturday, so actually could be one of the busiest days. There's not much time between the two. But then, yes, for Saturday, F3 is a pretty not a great day because we're the first race on the track. So yeah, it's really early. Sometimes like if you're staying far away from the track, it's like 6 AM wake up and we're on track about 8:30. But yeah, it's sort of the same things. So like warm up, like bands, a bit of tennis ball work, a bit of hand-eye coordination, and then the car and like that.
So what will the preparation in terms of the racing weekend be different from? So you're making a jump from F4 to F3. What would be the main difference you would say from F4 to F3 when it comes to preparing for that weekend?
I think you just got to understand everything to a higher level. The car, the tyres, everything like that. You just got to have a better understanding so you can basically be it.
So you've got testing in Bahrain next week, as I know you're looking forward to that, as we spoke about off camera. What is the preparation like that going to be like? I think a question many of us might have, or people that haven't drove an F4 car or F3 car before, is there anything to, like you've got to acclimatise before you start racing and things like that?
I definitely think so, yeah. Obviously, with races that are coming up in Australia, obviously Bahrain, the only two flyaway ones is one flyaway outside of Europe this year. I think one thing is going to be big for Australia is going to be the time difference, getting it as quickly as possible. So yeah, basically managing my sleep as much as I can before I go, and whilst I'm flying to try and manage my light intake, and then the heat obviously in Bahrain is going to be a big impact as well. It's going to be 26 degrees for the test, and then upwards of 30 degrees for the race. So yeah, it's going to be difficult, but obviously going from the UK to there is going to be a nice shock.
So whilst you're in the UK, will you be making those differences before you go out to Australia, or will it just be as soon as you get there you kind of go from there?
Well, preparations will already start way before, like acclimatizing, getting cardiovascular training to make sure you can endure the long distance in the car. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
And just whilst you're on the topic of saying cardiovascular, what is the fitness routine like? So day to day, so Ollie goes to the gym. What does he do in the gym usually? What's his week in the gym look like for you?
So it's normally five or six times. 5 times in the gym, and then I'll have one time when I'm on my own outside the gym, like an external run or something like that. And there'll be three strength sessions, 3 strength power sessions, and then 2 cardio, 1 sort of zone 3 high heartbeats, like 190 to 200 heartbeat sort of zone, and then a lower cardio for like a base cardio session sort of thing, which is something that is a longer session. But
anyone in this office was not put it that way. But well, on that topic, obviously for those of you that followed F4 last season, Ollie was locked into quite a tense title battle for the F4 Championship. Just how much of that experience of fighting for the championship do you think will put you in good stead into F3 and even beyond?
Oh no, 100%. I think it's definitely important that racing drivers or any sportsman have competed at the top level that they can and compete for the win as much as also they can. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. It's definitely going to be more difficult. I don't think I'll be going for the title this year. I think it's going to be a year of learning, understanding more and more about, understanding as much as I can by the end of the year, and going into next year, whatever that might be, being as ready as I can for the following year.
Awesome. And is there any F1 or F2 or motorsports in general, is there anyone that you looked up to growing up, even now maybe, that you look to as inspiration? Is it, you probably get quite a lot of people from the UK, like say Lewis Hamilton and things like that. Are you too dissimilar to that, or?
I wouldn't say I've ever really looked up to someone, but someone that like I respect a lot as a driver was definitely Michael Schumacher, and the way his whole ethos behind everything. He was very dedicated, and he would put 110% in the whole time. And I think that's just something you've got to respect for any racing driver.
Yeah, and what's your favourite Michael Schumacher race or season? What would you say is the season where you just thought, this guy is ridiculous?
I think, well, obviously when he became the most successful driver ever, now obviously Lewis has beaten that, but when he won those titles, I think no one ever thought they were ever going to be beaten. So that was epic.
I mean, a lot of the times around that era, they say it was quite, well, a lot of people say it's boring, but the reason it's boring is because he's so dominant. So there we go. But as you know, we offer sports hospitality for sports such as rugby, football, team-orientated sports. just how much of an impact does being able to play a part in the team have in, you know, Formula 3, which would probably be seen to many people as a bit of a lonely sport, you know, because it's always individual awards, it's always the individuals that they look at in F1, like Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, they never really talk about the teams overall, so just how much of a skill is teamwork and...
Oh yeah, 100%. I think it's the massive part. I think obviously all the spotlight is mostly shown on us, but it doesn't really show the engineers, the mechanics, team principals, everyone that's behind all the spotlight and behind all the glamour. I think they put in a lot of yards to ensure that we've got the best car possible for the weekend. I think communication between me and my engineer on and off track is the biggest part of that relationship. I think when you're on the radio, you've got to stay cool, calm and collected to ensure that there's no tension and to convey your message effectively so they can try and deal with the situation the best they can. And obviously when you come off the track dealing with teammates, obviously it's a solo sport, but you've got teammates that you've got to sort of consider as well in that aspect. So
yeah, you're going to be spending pretty much most of your time with, so yeah, fair enough.
It's definitely a challenge, yeah.
Challenge, there we go. It's been awesome having you in the office, really appreciate it, and good luck this season, F3, we'll know you smashed it.
Thank you.
Awesome.